Are you living life on someone else's terms? It might sound harsh, but consider this. The daily grind, the bills, the relentless struggle for survival. Could this be the fastest track to missing your true life's purpose? I know it sounds crazy. Everyone does it, right? But if that's the case, why do so many people feel empty and unfulfilled? You don't choose your purpose, you discover it. That might seem paradoxical in a world obsessed with choices. Career, location, relationships. But purpose isn't a phone you pick off a shelf. It's inherent, always there, waiting to be heard. The problem? Most are so consumed by survival, they never ask, why do I get up every day? The answer? To work. But work for what? To pay bills? Scrape by? Is that really all you're here for? I used to think so. My life felt like a monotonous string of meaningless tasks. Changing oil, fixing tires, mopping floors. I was efficient, but it wasn't it. It wasn't what made me feel truly alive, just what was available. Then someone gave me Think and Grow Rich. It wasn't the book itself, it was the seed it planted. For the first time I wondered, is there something more inside me? That's when things shifted. I started searching inward, not outward. I paid attention to what ignited me, what made me lose track of time. Here's a tip. If you do something and time flies, that's a clue. Another. What would you do every day, even if you weren't paid? I'm not saying quit your job tomorrow, but start listening to that whisper, because it doesn't shout, it murmurs. Ignore it long enough, and it fades to silence. Then, you realize you've lived a life that wasn't yours. Don't let it get that far. I spent days in quiet contemplation, journaling. What do I truly love? At first, nothing came. The silence was unnerving, even ridiculous. But I persisted, waking an hour early, finding a quiet corner, letting my mind wander. 3 days later, I wrote down what my heart already knew. My purpose is to thrive in a prosperous, stimulating environment, contributing meaningfully to my family, business, community, country, and the world. Everything I do now revolves around that. Finding your purpose might not happen overnight. It could take weeks, months, but it's worth every second. Imagine climbing a ladder your whole life, only to realize it was against the wrong wall. That's ignoring your purpose. You might arrive, but you'll be empty and frustrated. Discover your purpose and you become magnetic. Opportunities appear, the right people show up. You stop chasing and start attracting. Science calls it coherence, heart and mind aligned. This releases dopamine and oxytocin, boosting focus, motivation and inner peace. Harvard Health research shows purpose-driven lives are longer, less anxious, and more fulfilling. But before you say, I haven't time for this purpose stuff, do you have time to remain on autopilot, to wake each day feeling incomplete? You don't need a spiritual retreat. 10 minutes a day will do. Sit, breathe, ask, if fear and money were no object, what would I do? Write it down, unfiltered, unjudged. That's where discovery begins. When doubt creeps in, you're not capable. It's too late. No one will support you. Remember, those aren't your voices. They're echoes of ingrained programming. You can rewrite your story. Purpose isn't invented, it's revealed. And when you reveal yours, the world shifts with you. Without purpose, you're working for someone else's. And that, my friend, is the greatest life thief. Not poverty, crisis, or lack of opportunity, but directionless wandering. How often do you wake feeling empty, despite a full night's sleep? That nagging question, is this it? You go through the motions, then repeat. You call it routine. It's disconnection. Living a borrowed life, pursuing other people's goals, meeting expectations you never chose. The cruelest part? It feels normal, almost everyone does it. So you think you're okay. But why do so many with stable jobs, homes, cars, families feel a gaping void? Why do they feel like they're dying inside? If you don't know where you're going, you'll be swept along by someone who does. I met a man named Marinus. He cleaned offices for $1 an hour, barely surviving, unable to drive, with limited opportunities. Most would say he was destined to fail. But I saw potential. I encouraged him to start his own business, taught him to drive, even went with him at 5 a.m. every day. He learned not just to drive, but to take control of his life. Soon, this $1 an hour man owned a cleaning company, invested in restaurants, built an empire. It started when he stopped working just for money and started building with purpose. As long as you focus solely on paying bills, life will reward you with more bills. Fear of lack attracts more lack. This isn't magic, it's vibration. Everything operates on frequencies. If you vibrate fear and limitation, that's what you reinforce. Studies from Stanford and Princeton show that constant financial stress diminishes focus and reasoning, effectively lowering IQ by 10-15 points. It impacts decisions, relationships, and health. You might not even realize you're trapped. With purpose, everything changes. Your body responds differently. Your emotions shift. Your mind works for you. You move with intention. This isn't motivational fluff. It's biology. Aligning with something meaningful releases dopamine and serotonin, boosting motivation and well-being. You attract ideas, people, and opportunities aligned with your new energy. The objection always comes, what about the bills? They'll still be there, but you choose how you pay them, with fear and suffering or with purpose and expansion. Doing what you love makes money a consequence, not a punishment. You create value. You inspire. You move the world. How many brilliant, highly educated people live frustrated, trapped in jobs they hate? How many with minimal education built empires because they followed their passions, even if it seemed crazy? You can keep saying, I need to do this because everyone else does. But the majority path leads only to where the majority is. Is that where you want to be? You must make a courageous decision, perhaps the most important of your life. Stop building someone else's dream and start living your own. It's not about abandoning everything. It's about the first step. An hour a day, a night class, an honest conversation with yourself. You don't need a radical overhaul. Just turn the key. Until you find your purpose, someone will always hire you to fulfill theirs for the lowest possible price. You deserve more, but you'll only receive more when you believe you can be more. Purpose, vision, goals, often used interchangeably, but they have distinct, powerful roles. Understanding their connection and order transforms your life. Purpose is the starting point, the why, the thing that makes your heart race when no one's watching. It gives your days meaning. Vision is the how, the clear picture of what you'll create or experience, a goal. The first bite of that vision, turning the invisible into reality. I've seen well-intentioned people stuck. They knew they wanted something meaningful, felt a calling, but didn't know how. The reason? Lack of clarity and strategy. They tried doing everything at once, directionless. Result? Anxiety, frustration, and giving up. Separate the three, discover your purpose, envision how it unfolds, then set goals to make it happen. When I understood this sequence, my life exploded. I was traveling, Tel Aviv to Melbourne, Los Angeles, Auckland, Toronto. Everywhere people said, Bob, if I could just have 10 minutes, how could I reach everyone? That's when the streaming club idea hit me, a way to connect with thousands worldwide simultaneously. It aligned with my purpose of unleashing human potential. The idea came, and I acted immediately. Many wait for a perfect vision. It emerges gradually like puzzle pieces. You only begin to assemble the picture when aligned with purpose. Vision shows you where you can go. Goals show you where to start. A major mistake is trying to do everything at once. Business, career change, fitness overhaul, book writing. It's not vision, it's overload. Like eating a whole pizza in one bite. Cut a slice, a specific, measurable, time-bound goal. It gives you focus. Focus yields progress. You might have a grand vision, impact the world, open schools, travel, transform communities, but you need a goal fitting your current reality, not to limit, but to propel. Each achieved goal strengthens your identity. It says, I am capable. The more you believe it, the farther you go. What if I fail? You won't fail, you'll learn. Failure only exists when you quit. Every attempt teaches something. Often, mistakes clarify what truly matters. I had ideas that didn't work. Some looked great on paper but didn't connect to my purpose. That's okay. Each attempt brought me back to what resonated. It's a dance. Sometimes the vision shifts, sometimes the purpose deepens. But understanding this cycle gives you power. You act with intention. The universe responds to clear intention with concrete opportunities. Research from Dominican University shows that writing down and regularly reviewing goals increases your chances of achieving them by 42%. Writing clarifies the mind. Clarity sparks action. Action produces results, but more than results, purpose, vision, and goals give you direction. Direction brings peace. You might not be where you want to be yet, but knowing where you're going lets you sleep soundly. That peace is priceless. You don't need everything figured out, but start building the picture. Your life is a blank canvas. Purpose is the inspiration. Vision is the sketch. Goals are the first strokes. Details emerge. The picture takes shape, not because someone painted it for you, but because you dared to pick up the brush. So, what are you waiting for? You have more power than you realize, even if you've been told otherwise since birth. This isn't hyperbole. It's the truth buried under years of conditioning, external opinions, past failures, and fears that aren't even yours. You were taught that success is for the lucky, the educated, the privileged. I'm here to remind you, nothing is stronger than knowing who you truly are. For years, I believed I was insignificant with a terrible self-image. I left school early, had jobs requiring obedience, not thinking. I joined the Navy but never saw a ship. I was directionless, with a sore injured finger and no future, but something inside said, this can't be it. That life was just the surface. Deep down was a force I hadn't tapped. That force is within you, even if you've forgotten how to access it. It emerges when you understand how your mind really works, not as school taught you, but as real life demands. I spent over 50 years studying the human mind. The biggest discovery? It all starts in your subconscious, your beliefs, your inner truths. They shape your worldview, actions, and results. If you believe you don't deserve more, you'll sabotage yourself when something good comes along. If you think you'll never escape debt, your mind will keep you right where you are, regardless of effort. The problem isn't what you do, it's who you believe you are while doing it. When I started changing my internal programming, everything transformed. I was the same person in the mirror, but inside I became someone else, more confident, aligned, and connected to something always present but unheard. I remember being in London, earning more than I ever dreamed. It was good, comfortable. But looking back, I realized if I could escape the depths and arrive there, anyone could. It wasn't luck, it was understanding. And that's what I wanted to teach. That's the true power of purpose. Realizing your life can be used for something bigger than paying bills or accumulating achievements. Understanding that your pain, mistakes, even failures can fuel transformation. That gives you an unshakable power, a richness independent of your bank account. Ignoring this calling is rejecting your essence. Do it long enough, and you get sick inside. No wonder so many seemingly successful people are plagued by depression, addiction, and sorrow. Robin Williams, a comedic genius, a celebrated artist, struggled with an unseen emptiness. Fame and fortune don't fill the void, only purpose can. You don't need rock bottom to find the light. You can choose now. Your future isn't written. It's being written with each choice. Many wait to feel confident before acting. It's the opposite. Act despite fear. Confidence follows. An invisible line separates your current life from the one you want. That line is decision. What's stopping you? Fear of judgment, of failure, of not knowing where to start. It's normal, but can't outweigh the desire for authentic living. You possess something infinite, a connection to everything. Science calls it universal consciousness. Spirituality calls it spirit. I call it inner power. It's available now, waiting for you to say, I'm ready. It doesn't matter if no one ever believed in you. The world doesn't change from outside in, it changes from inside out. When you change, everything changes. Money, relationships, health, energy, the will to live. This won't happen while you repeat the old story of insufficiency, because you are enough. You always were. You just forgot because of the voices that told you otherwise. It's your turn to write a new story, one of courage, awareness, and purpose. When you claim your inherent power, there are no limits to what you can create. The world responds in a way that seems magical, but it's just you, finally, being who you always were. Are you living life on autopilot or charting your own course? That's the fundamental question, the one that hit me hard after years of simply reacting to life's relentless tide. Deadlines, unexpected setbacks, missed opportunities. I was constantly putting out fires, surviving rather than thriving. Then it dawned on me. There's creative living and reactive living, and no in between. Most people are trapped in a hamster wheel. Wake up, check their phones, scroll through endless news feeds and social media, letting the outside world dictate their energy before the day even begins. It's like starting a marathon with blurry vision. You're never going to win. But here's the game changer. You can literally sculpt your reality. What you focus on with intention, emotion, and consistent action, you manifest. This isn't some mystical mumbo-jumbo. It's about harnessing the power of your mind, neuroplasticity, the very vibrations of your being, all backed by science. Your brain can't distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and actual lived experience. So, starting your day by visualizing your desires, feeling gratitude for what you don't yet have, and acting with unwavering faith, aligns your nervous system with your goals. It's not passive waiting, it's active direction. I know, it sounds like science fiction. It did to me too, until I tried it. At first, the results were subtle. People appearing at the right time, unexpected solutions, ideas seemingly springing from nowhere. Then I realized it wasn't luck, it was alignment. By tuning into your desires, you see what's always been there, hidden by your focus on problems instead of possibilities. I remember a grueling period in Toronto, overwhelmed by commitments and responsibilities. Instead of trying to control everything, I stopped. 3 days of introspection, silence, reflection, reconnecting with my why, not my worries. During that quiet time, one of the most profitable and transformative ideas of my life emerged. Not in the hustle, but in the stillness. Creative power blossoms in the silence when you finally hear your own inner voice. Think about it. How many critical decisions have you made impulsively, driven by fear, haste, or external expectations? How many brought lasting peace? Conscious creation requires pause, space, intention. Start small. 5 minutes a day of quiet. Visualize your ideal life. Feel it as real. Express gratitude. Write down one small step towards it. Repeat daily. Observe. The repetition of a new pattern replaces the old. Your life changes not because the world changed, but because you did. I often say, life doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you are. Reacting makes you a product of your environment. Creating makes you the architect of your reality. So the question is, will you be a passenger or the driver of your own life? Life always answers. It's what you ask that matters. The core message: you're not here just to react, you're here to consciously create. The biggest mistake is believing life happens to you. It happens through you. If this resonates, take action. Click on the next video. Each click is a step forward on your journey, making you a little better than you were before. And that's everything. Thank you for being here. Until next time.